tell me, what are the odds that Pooja Chaudhary of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun should be interviewed by her namesake after all these years?
I love it. I love it. It was such a bad audition. So he said, "Ye Renuka Shah ne hai kaun?" And then they said that, okay, now you can announce that you're part of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun.
Wow. First heroine on screen with Shah Rukh Khan. Do you think Indian audiences romanticize women's pain?
I think the television has failed our women much more than any other form of storytelling.
Renuka Shahne is an atheist.
People can say कि हम ये नहीं करेंगे, जाओ आप क्या कर लोगे?
One thing Bollywood should definitely learn from regional cinema.
Content, story.
Welcome to Incontroversial, where stories are real and conversations go deep. Joining me on the show today is someone we've long admired on the screen. How can you not, with that charming smile right from the days of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun? Her latest animated short is regaling audiences worldwide. Joining me on the show today is Renuka Shahne.
Hello.
Thank you, Renuka, for joining me today. So happy to have you on the show.
I'm happy to be here.
But tell me, what are the odds that Pooja Chaudhary of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun should be interviewed by her namesake after all these years?
I love it. I love it.
I thought it was just so funny.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I mean, what would it be if you were actually being interviewed for that character today, right?
Exactly.
But of course, we'll talk about it. How can we not? It was such an iconic role.
That's true.
How did your journey start? I mean, tell me all about it. Was it like, did you just know that you wanted to be an actor? If I'm not mistaken, you were a psychology student, right?
That's
Xavier's?
right. Absolutely. And there was no way I was going to be an actor. In fact, Pandit Satyadev Dubey was a family friend, a very close friend of my mother's. And he used to come to our place very often. And each time he would ask me, ki, abhinay karna hai? And I used to say, ki, nahi, no, not at all. So it was never in my mind. And when I was in college, I was part of the Sangeet Mandal because I have trained in Hindustani classical music long ago. So generally, whatever activities you like in college, you're a part of that.
Yeah.
And there was a
Xavier's
play,
has such a vibrant extracurricular
exactly. Yeah, there's
atmosphere.
such a range.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was part of the Sangeet Mandal, and we were having a play put up when I was in my second year, which was being directed by a friend of a friend's.
Okay.
So he involved us in the background music. We were doing the vocals, you know, in the music. And there were 14 songs. So obviously we were there while the rehearsals were going on. And I saw the whole process of the play beginning with the script and, characters reading out, then standing up and the mise en scène and everything happening. And I was fascinated. So the next time Dubeji came home, he said, "Abhinay karna hai?" I said, "Haan."
I bet you were surprised.
I don't know about Abhinay, but I wanted to be part of the theatre scene. And he offered me the role of a crow in a Hindi play called Mumbai Ke Kauwe.
Okay.
And there were 5 girls. Actually, Dubeji's plays couldn't be performed without females on stage. And this play had no female characters.
Okay.
So he made us the crows.
Fancy having that on your repertoire. My
Yes.
first role was that of a crow.
Yeah. And Dr. Rajiv Naik saw me on stage, and I don't know what he saw in me, and he asked me to play translation of Othello
Okay.
for the state competition that is held each year for
Yeah.
Marathi plays. And so that's how my theatre journey began, and I did a lot of amateur theatre, and not just in the capacity of being an actor, but also sweeping floors, getting water, refreshments, makeup, hair, anything that I had to do. I was part of that group and we did, and it was a great time. But even then I was not really into acting as a profession because I've always wanted to be a practicing clinical psychologist.
Wow.
So I trained as a clinical psychologist. I did my master's.
Yeah.
And after that, I had taken a year off. And during that time, I was offered circus.
Okay.
And during circus, I met Aziz Mirza, who was the director of circus, and I consider my mentor. And he insisted that I leave PhD behind and take up acting as a profession. And as luck would have it, when I came back home after shooting circus, I got a call from Siddharth Kak's office to audition for a program which was a different kind of program on art and culture.
Okay.
And he was looking out for a co-anchor for the program. And I went there to audition, and it was such a bad audition, such a bad audition.
Why do you
That I-
say that?
Because I forgot they gave me a clished 4 pages of clished Hindi in about Brihadeshwar Mandir.
Oh my God, okay.
And I had to learn it by heart, and I was very confident of my memory, so I learnt it by heart. And the moment the camera came on, about a paragraph later, I had forgotten the entire passage. So I kept laughing, and it was hilarious because I was laughing at myself actually. That इतनी dumb हूँ मैं कि मैं इतना भी नहीं कर पाई. And Siddharth, of course, saw the audition and said, "What's the point? She's looking very nice and all that, and very charming, but you know, she can't say her lines." And Geeta said, "No, no, no, it's okay. You know, she'll do fine. We don't have 4-page scripts to say in any
Right.
case, in any program.
Yeah.
So take her. She'll be the ideal foil for you
Huh.
on the show."
Yeah.
That's how my journey is, Surabhi. And then one
And
thing
from
led
there
to
on, one thing to
another.
the other. But and even in that, it's been such a sort of a layered journey, right? But
That's true.
how did the role of Pooja and Hum Aapke Hain Kaun land in your lap?
Suraj ji was, suggested my name by 3 people on the same day.
Whoa. He must have surely thought.
So he said, "Ye Renuka Shah ne hai kaun?"
How sweet.
You know, because his father Raj Babuji had seen me in both Circus and Surabhi, but Surajji hadn't. So when he saw me in Surabhi, I had my short hair, and you know, so somehow that bhabhi ka image and that he couldn't really match it. So he said, "Milte hain, let's see," because they were looking out for not just somebody who would play Salman's bhabhi, but basically Madhuri's elder sister.
Correct.
So when they saw me, they were very surprised because generally you tend to look bigger on screen than in real life.
Yeah.
So Raj Babuji said that we didn't expect you to be so, looking so petite. But he asked me to read from a novel, and I read, and he liked my reading a lot. They took 3 auditions of mine, and then they said that, "Okay, now you can announce that you're part of Hum Aapke Hain Kaun."
Wow. And
Yeah.
what was the experience like working with, Madhuri and Salman? They were in their prime
Absolutely.
back in the day.
They were the top stars of that time.
Absolutely.
you know.
I mean, any memories from your
Yeah.
time working on the set with them?
You know, actually, I have been very privileged to have worked with Rajshrees because I think that was a place where both of them were born, in a way, in
Yeah.
that production. Madhuri with Abodh and Salman with Maine Pyar Kiya.
Of course,
So
yeah.
that was his first major hit.
Yeah, yeah.
And Madhuri, of course, I mean, she was so young when she, performed in Abodh.
Yeah.
So their behavior on our set could possibly be different from what it was in maybe other sets.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
All in all, I just had a blast. Most of the time in the film, I used to ask Surajji, "What am I supposed to do?" And he said, "Aapko hasna hai aur taali bajana hai." Something that I really kind of love
That
doing.
doesn't take much effort. Karne
Yeah. So, but it was such fun to do that.
But of course, we're talking about stars, and you've worked with the biggest of them all. You are the one who's recognized as being his first heroine on screen with Shah Rukh Khan.
That's
back
right,
in
yeah.
Circus, and that's something that sort of stayed along with you.
That's
and
right.
Oftentimes we get to see a friendly banter and exchange between you and Shah Rukh. How was that experience?
It was fabulous. Actually, Shah Rukh is the kind of professional that everybody should dream to be.
Wow.
Because when he was working on Circus, he had already done Fauji.
Yeah.
And
I'm a big Shah Rukh fan, by the way. Full disclosure.
Rightfully. And his attitude towards work, A, is absolutely fabulous. And second is his treatment of everybody on the set. He's such a gracious person, and he makes no distinction between a spot person and a producer or a director, actor, nothing. His relationships on the set are on that
Lovely.
equal level,
Yeah.
which I find really very, very empowering.
Yeah.
Because when the star does that, then the entire set feels invigorated.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that I think he treats everybody with a lot of grace and respect. And that's something to really learn from.
From your journey in acting, was there like sort of a moment where you felt, this is it, I really want to sort of now get behind the camera, not just see what the view is from there, but also tell your own stories and
Yes.
direct your own stories in that respect.
You know, actually, my passion to be behind the camera started with a serial I did while I was studying my MA. I did a serial called Lifeline for Doordarshan.
Yeah.
And it was directed by Dr. Vijaya Mehta. And Vijaya Mehta is an institution. If you get a chance to work with her, whether in theatre, whether in film, and the command she has over the craft is just amazing. That learning experience was the thing that ignited that feeling that I needed to be behind the camera. In front of the camera was a journey that just happened. But direction is my choice. Actually, when I was doing Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, I had told Suraj ji that, you know, after this film, I'm going to go to FTI, I'm going to try my hand, you know, at direction. And he was aghast. He said, what is wrong with you? Don't do that. Learn on the job. Learn from the technicians that you're working with as an actor. And from that day onwards, he used to call me early on the set, and I was privy to the entire day's discussion that he had with his assistants. Because he really wanted me to learn on the job.
I mean,
you know,
those are
he took-
invaluable experiences, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So I was the fly on the wall listening into and then coming in and performing the same things that I had
Yeah.
seen being discussed. So
Yeah.
it was so important to me, and it was so generous of him to do that, you know. So that's the path I took. And afterwards, finally, when I had my kids and I had some time and I had taken a sabbatical from acting, that's the time when my husband reminded me of my passion for directing, and he said, why don't you, you know, it's supposed to be the golden age of Marathi cinema. Try to, you know, kind of think of something you'd like to make in Marathi. And I then remembered my mother's novel, Rita Vilinkar,
Yeah.
which she had written in 1993. And it had stayed with me because it's the kind of novel that takes very easily to an adaptation to a screenplay. It's written in that form.
Okay.
So I said, as an experiment, let me just adapt it to the screen and let me see if it's working, you know. And I did the adaptation and I read it out to my mother, and she was very happy with it. So that's how the journey of then finding a producer. Luckily, I got producers, such fabulous producers in Pooja and Aarti Shetty. It was their first film from
Okay.
their production. And so that's the way my journey as a director began. And after that, I was hooked. I was completely hooked. But I thought that, you know, after Rita, everything was so smooth and everything happened so smoothly that every 2 years, I'm going to now, you know, kind of make films. But it's so difficult
Of
to.
course.
As a writer also, I take a very long time. Inordinately long time.
I mean, I take such a long time to just conjure up a post. It's brewing in my head for so long before it sees itself live. So I can just imagine.
Yes. And I'm so self-critical, you know, that I have to shed that self-criticalness and then, you know, kind of just write.
Yeah.
And now I have begun doing that. And I think now is the time when I'll tell my stories perhaps faster.
And you already are saying them in such a fabulous way. Congratulations on the response that Loopline is
Thank
getting.
you, thank
It
you.
recently was showcased at the New York Film Festival.
That's right.
Loopline, Dhaupatti,
Yeah.
what was the spark behind it?
We always see women who are dealing with certain issues, at the end of which they are walking away in the sunset with some resolution in mind. And I suddenly felt that, you know, it's not easy. That resolution ek though is very often just a resolution ki this is the end of it and we have to imagine that life after that would be a certain way, you know. And that life after that might not be that certain way, and it's also very difficult. And it's difficult for a lot of women, especially those who are housewives, who are dependent financially on their husbands, and who come from a mindset where, you know, you say, arthi niklegi, sasural se types. So that was the kind of woman I wanted to write about. And why Loopline is because there is no resolution, and the tragedy is that she has to repeat that
Yeah.
same day over and over again.
Absolutely.
You know, without
Yeah.
any sort of change
Yeah.
in life.
So why animation? I mean, most of us think that animation is for kids.
Exactly.
So was there something that you had seen in, mature animated content that inspired you to make Loop Line in?
Not really. I mean, it was a surprising thing for me also because as a writer, I kept seeing the portions where the housewife uses her imagination to escape from her routine
Yeah.
in animation. I kept seeing that as something which is, very vibrant from the drudgery of her
Yeah.
life. And so I kept seeing that in an animated form.
Yeah.
And I was toying with the idea of combining the two, like a live action as well as animation. But I just felt that because it was a short film, it didn't have that amount of time to,
Yeah.
kind of balance the two. So that's how I then decided that what if I make the entire thing in animation?
Okay.
And I luckily have a friend, Saumitra Ranade, who is one of the founders of Paperboat
Yes.
Design Studio, who I eventually collaborated with. And he said that, listen, look for a financer because there are no distributors, no financiers for animated films as such.
Right.
And it's the expensive
genre,
also,
absolutely. Yeah, because
you
it's so
know,
technology heavy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, then after COVID, of course, I took some time and then saved up money, and then I said, okay, let's go ahead and do this. Let me just do it the way I see it.
Fantastic.
I didn't want to see it in live action. I didn't want to do it in that with using VFX, you know.
Right.
That's how it happened. I think it was such a beautiful collaboration and such a great learning experience for me to completely, get into a zone of storytelling which in which I can't directly be involved in the visual aspect of it since I'm not an artist.
Right.
But and yet you can see what a powerful way of storytelling it is.
Yeah. And how did audiences sort of respond to it? I mean, you showed at the New York International Film Festival just last month.
I have got responses from people from Iceland to New Zealand. So that's like all over the world, pretty much. And all of them can understand patriarchy because it's a constant
Of course.
that still exists all over the world.
Yeah.
Even if you might not understand how a woman can be so submissive, perhaps, in a culture like Iceland where, there's such a lot of equality. And yet they can understand her pain, they can understand the situation, and that's the power of film.
Of course.
And that's the power of storytelling through
Right.
film.
Yeah, I get your point, but I'm curious, as a storyteller, I want to ask, do you think Indian audiences romanticize women's pain? I mean, for long we've been served the sacrificing mother or the suffering woman or, the sort of perils of patriarchy.
Yes.
Is that an audience demand, or is that there is no other stories to tell?
I think the television has failed our women much more than any other form of storytelling. I think where web series are concerned or even films are concerned these days, and of course short story formats, and you have the space for nuanced storytelling.
Yes.
You have the space for even the grey shades in a woman, which are there in most of us.
Yes.
So, you can play with all of that and move away from the norm of ki you look at a woman in a particular way and her pain is only one kind of pain. No, there are many different kinds of pain.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the thing that we see 24 hours in a day is what is hammered to us through television.
Yeah.
And it comes inside our house.
Yes.
The kind of things that girls have achieved.
Yes.
My
God,
and
really.
the kind of things that they are doing with their lives, none of that is reflected on television.
Yeah.
Some of that is reflected through short stories, through web series, through films.
Yeah.
So, but there's a long way to go,
And
I
still so
think
many stories to tell, right?
so many stories to tell, even about men, I think. Because even men, there is that, kind of, you see a lot of still that macho-ness and the
there's
violence.
a lot of gender
and
stereotyping which is not
which
needed,
is
I
not
think.
needed.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. But, I mean, is there one truth about the Indian film industry that nobody's talking about it, but perhaps a lot more conversations need to happen?
I think the fact that, we keep, we don't respect originality. I think, and we don't respect our audience enough. I think our audience is ready for a lot of things that we don't feel. I'm talking about the commercial
Yeah.
film industry. They do appreciate original thought.
Of course.
They do
yeah.
appreciate, new faces who are fabulous at their job.
Correct. I mean, I think that's a great perspective that you've shared. But I mean, I have to ask, as I was prepping for our interaction today, and of course, getting to read all about Loopline
Yeah.
and a little bit about you, I came across your profile on Wikipedia, and it has a line which says, "Renuka Shane is an atheist."
Oh, is it?
Is that even?
I must read Wikipedia.
Yeah. Is that even the case?
That's true.
And why was there a need to sort of have this self-declaration out there?
I didn't. Wikipedia is edited by others. It's not something that I've put out.
But then why
I
do you
think-
say you are an atheist?
It's just a belief. When people ask me, I say it. I don't kind of say, oh, I'm an atheist.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like a bib
Yeah,
that
it's
you
not
wear
a badge
around.
that
Yeah,
I'm wearing.
yeah.
It's a way of life.
Yes, yes.
Religion is a way of life.
Of course.
My religion is different from most God-fearers, maybe.
Okay. Well, stay true to your word then. And if I may ask about you and Ashutosh Rana,
Yes.
and what a sort of power-packed creative house it must be,
Yes,
home it must
it
be,
is.
literally. And you're inching towards a milestone 25th wedding anniversary
Yeah.
soon enough, I think. What is a day in the house of Renuka Shane and Ashutosh Rana? And you have
There's a lot of talking. There are a million conversations through the day because we are, I am an incredible listener and
Okay.
he's an incredible talker, conversationalist.
Huh.
And I think my children also, all of us, we just love being together, being, chatty about things ranging from the personal to the political to the creative to, just the weather, nature, anything can,
Lovely.
kind of get us talking.
But how did love find the two of you?
I think it's, it's sad, but it's very difficult to find a good friend from the opposite sex in our industry at that time.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Most of my friends who were from theatre, who were doing, serials along with me or acting along with me, I mean, they were my friends. I wasn't looking at them as romantic partners.
Right.
And then most of the men I met, I couldn't talk beyond 5 minutes with them. So when I met Rana, I was really very, very, taken by the fact that I could, converse with him. We could talk about books. He's a voracious reader. So I also am not voracious, but not now at least. But I love books. So there was a different, type of conversation that I was having with him. And I also felt a lot of comfort in just, conversing. And we fell in love over the phone. That time we didn't have, it was landline and
Yeah. Good old MTNL.
oh yes. So eventually when we actually started meeting and dating, we found that we were comfortable even though we are like chalk and cheese and we come from backgrounds which are so diverse. It's that feeling of finding a companion you want to spend
The rest of your
the
life
rest
with.
of your life
And make a
with.
happy home with.
Yes,
And
exactly.
and you do have two young boys you
Yes.
mentioned. Tell me, I mean, a Bombay girl, pretty much born and
Yes.
raised here, you mentioned. How much has the city sort of shaped your voice, your
I
views?
think completely. I think completely, and I see that when I meet girls who come from other places, even empowered culturally, like West Bengal or or Chennai, or
Yeah.
there is a certain thing about Maharashtra which is extremely progressive. There's a certain amount of himmat, courage that Mumbai gives
Yeah.
a woman. And after being married to Ranaji, I have really seen the other aspect. I'm a completely different person in my sasural. Like it's like as if there are two, like I'm the multiple faces of Eve.
Okay.
Literally. There I'm in my ghungat.
Huh.
I will not sit, when there are elders sitting.
Oh wow.
And
okay.
it's all culturally, the very hum aapke hain kaun actually.
Okay.
So it's and so I am like this girl from Loop Line, this woman from Loop Line,
Yeah.
who is kind of an observer of what is going on around and not completely involved. I can't be completely involved in that. I'm
Yeah.
just playing a particular role in a
Yeah.
way because I'm doing it for the man I love, which I think is a very great reason to do many things.
Yeah.
But my soul is not in it.
Okay.
My soul is in
In being
Mumbai,
you.
in being me.
And you mentioned Marathi cinema and you mentioned Maharashtra and being so forward thinking. As a Maharashtrian, what is your point of view on movements like Speak Marathi?
No, I feel that, if you are in a place for a very long time, it's a good thing to understand the local language, the local culture, and be respectful
Yeah.
more than anything else.
Yeah.
It's not about the speaking of it much more than the intention of wanting to, respect it. Especially where you are part of a customer service
Front facing.
front face.
Yeah.
Then if you do not know the local language and somebody from the local language is coming to ask you a question and they do not know any other language, then the least you can do is get up and get another person who knows the language
Yeah.
so that the person is a facilitator.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do not like people who do not feel the necessity to be accommodating of the local language and local culture.
Right. Okay.
I do not like the fact that people can be rude about it. People can say कि हम ये नहीं करेंगे, जाओ आप क्या कर लोगे. So I don't think that that's
It's
the response
misplaced
that is.
defiance.
I don't think that you should be dismissive. I do not like violence at all. So I don't think that going into a place where Marathi is not spoken and just slapping 2 or 3 people, it's not going to help the language in any way.
Right.
We have to find ways of getting the language across to people, at least the basic minimum,
Yes.
in a way that people would find, very convenient and they'll kind of accept it very happily.
Correct.
Language should not be something that is forced.
Yeah.
That is exactly why I'm against the forceful addition of Hindi from a very early stage in Maharashtra. I think that it should be something of a choice, which I grew up with. There was a choice later on. You could either take Hindi, Sanskrit, French,
Correct.
whatever.
Right.
But to keep a third language from the first standard is something which is forceful and which is unnecessary. So I am, of the view that if you are, आपका काम चल रहा है as Hindi speakers, great, fine, that's great. That's because, it is a cosmopolitan city and all
Right.
that. But that does not give you the right to dismiss
The state language.
people who
Yeah.
are from Marathi speaking people
Right.
or their language or their culture or look down upon them
Right.
and do it obviously. So I'm completely against that.
Nicely put. Great perspective there. A quick rapid fire, perhaps?
Why not?
Okay. One thing Bollywood should definitely learn from regional cinema.
Content. Story.
Okay. A strong female voice in Bollywood.
Zoya Akhtar.
Nice. An actor who still hasn't tapped into their full potential.
Of course, my husband. But I used to think Rishi Kapoor ji.
Okay.
Because I used to think he's one of the best actors India has produced. But somehow, later on, of course,
Later on, he had some terrific roles, right?
But, I just felt that when he was the hero, that kind of thing. Or maybe I'm reading it wrong. I think he did do a lot of roles which were of a different kind.
Yeah.
unfortunately that chocolate boy thing got
Just
stuck.
stayed with him. But yeah, when he did do some of those versatile roles,
Yeah.
they perhaps came too late in life.
Absolutely.
And not enough of them.
And you know, in Damini, for instance, I
Yes.
must say, it was something that has stayed in my mind, that everybody talks about Sunny Deol because it's one of those very attractive cameos.
Yeah.
But what Rishi Kapoor did in Damini was a masterclass in acting. It's really, go back and see it. And
I'll look that up,
yeah,
yeah.
literally, he has performed the best.
Okay,
you
I'll
know,
go back
and
and
his role is not author backed.
Wow. All right. One thing every man should learn from Ashutosh Rana.
The passion and intensity,
Oh, nice.
like professionally, and the amount of respect that he gives me at home.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
A must-watch Marathi film?
Umesh Kulkarni's all his films.
Anyone in
Any
particular?
Umesh. I love Vadu and Deul. These
Okay.
are two films that I really love.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And if you got the chance to remake Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, what's the one thing you'd do differently perhaps?
I wouldn't take out my false stomach during Didi Tera Devar. Inside story. It was 10 days of shooting. And so, dhire, you know, the things that I used to use for padding, they came off one by one. And I kept, you know, using the chunni as a screen, you know, as if because I had to sit. And we were, you know, filming it for 10 days. So nobody noticed and it was okay.
Oh, that's convenient. You just let it out. One cliche about women filmmakers that you wish would just disappear.
That they only write about women or talk about women, actually.
Absolutely, I think that,
Yeah,
yeah. And even if they do, what's wrong with it, right?
Yeah, what's wrong
Yeah.
with it? We are talking about human beings, right?
Yeah. Your comfort cheat meal after a long day on the set?
Vada pav.
Oh God, no. That's 600 calories there.
I love it. It's a cheat meal.
It's many meals rolled into one.
That's
but
true,
yeah.
that's true. But the satisfaction level is, you don't think of the calories when there's such a lot of satisfaction in it.
But yeah, I secretly agree
But all
with
those
you.
people who are on diets, please don't have it.
Yeah, I secretly agree with you,
है ना?
just that I don't have any tolerance for mirchi. So, and what's a plain
Oh,
sada vada
sads.
pav, right? That was fabulous. But because we're discussing loop line, maybe the next section will be loop or let go. All right. So some quick questions.
Okay.
Your first acting gig?
Loop it.
Loop it. A fan calling you Pooja Bhabhi in public?
Loop.
Loop? Yeah. Okay. Wearing a sari in 45-degree heat while pretending it's winter?
Let it go.
Let it go. Should I make it tougher wearing a paitani? Doing 27 retakes because someone kept laughing.
That's me. I'm the
No.
one who laughs. No. Let it go.
Let it go. Okay. Ashutosh giving you script feedback you didn't ask for?
Loop.
Loop?
Yeah.
All right. Always
Very
welcome.
often I don't ask for it and he gives me some very, very good feedback. And you know, however much I don't want it at that time, when I think about it, I feel no.
All right
it's
then.
been worth it.
Googling your own name and discovering some strange fan theories.
Let it go.
Let it go. Being tagged in random women empowerment WhatsApp forwards.
WhatsApp forwards, let it go.
And being asked to pose for a selfie mid-bite at a restaurant.
Let it go. I mean, though I can't deny, you know, that thing, but
Yeah, but
yeah.
it's just the
I wish I
awkwardness of
could.
it, right?
Yeah.
Getting mistaken for another actor and just going with it.
Loop.
Naughty. That was so much fun, Renuka. Thank you for bringing your charm, but more than that, your impishness on the show. It's been so much fun.
Thank you. It's
Yeah, I
been
mean, I
fun.
think it was just a reminder that the quietest stories can still shake things up regardless of that charming smile, right? And I think that's been so fabulous to hear from you.
Thank you.
This is Pooja Chaudhary signing off from Incontroversial. Until we meet again, stay bold, stay curious. Thank you.